Hello, students. Welcome to the fourth part of the environment series of PT65. Okay, we already did climate change topic already covered in first video. Then we covered all the subtopics of this. Then we moved to other domains. We did it. We did this climate related news and terms, and then institutions also has been covered in second part of the video. In the third part of the video, we covered pollution and every definition and all the pollutants we covered. We covered air pollution, and then we already covered the water pollution part. Okay. You can watch all those videos. Three videos have already been made, and now we will start from this plastic pollution part. So today we will do this plastic pollution and this land degradation, other important news, and international conventions and treaties and initiatives. So this is all today. all will be done in today's video. Okay, plastic pollution. So what first and foremost, what is plastic pollution? Plastic pollution is the same principle that we have discussed on the pollution video, that whatever is undesirable is added to the air, water, or pollution or soil becomes pollution. Okay, undesirable undesirable element. Okay, undesirable element. Now here the undesirable element is plastic. So plastic when added to the soil becomes plastic pollution. It can pollute soil also. It can pollute the water also. So marine micro, you may have heard, or otherwise we will discuss this microplastic concept also. Microplastic, soil, water, and this plastic is very less or may not be found in air. So air pollution does not happen because of plastic, but soil and water pollution does happen because of plastic. So that's why the plastic pollution is important. Now the first news that we are going to do is plastic overshoot day. So you may have heard about this one concept, that is earth overshoot day. Earth overshoot day. Okay, so what is earth overshoot day? Earth overshoot day is a concept that is when the use of the carbon, use of resources of earth, use of the resources of earth becomes greater than that the all the resources that can be produced by earth within a year. Okay, so if, like, we take an example like 1st of June. So by this, from 1st of January till 1st of June, we can the human population can exploit all the resources that Earth can replenish within 1 year. So this is the concept of Earth overshoot day. So after 1st of June, whatever the resources we are using cannot be replenished within this year. So this is the concept of Earth overshoot day, and on the same concept, the plastic overshoot day has been a report on the plastic overshoot day has been launched. Okay, who has launched this? Earth Action, a consultancy firm. World name of the Earth Action. Okay, about plastic overshoot. What is plastic overshoot day? The amount of plastic waste surpasses the capacity to manage the plastic waste. The same concept that I have already told you. Okay, it was on July 28th, 2023. So after before 2020, before 28th July, all the plastic that we are producing can be managed and recycled. But after 28th July, whatever the plastic the humanity is making cannot be recycled. Okay, this Earth saw its first. It is become important because it is the first time that plastic overshoot day has been announced. So that's why UPSC may directly asked what is plastic overshoot day, and who has which firm has launched this. Okay. Findings. What are the findings? India, with respect to India, India has saw its overshoot day on 6th of January. So with respect to world, it is 20th July, but when we come to India, it is on 6th January. Only miss that. What does this mean? What does this mean? That only up to 1st and 5th January we are able to manage our plastic. Otherwise, the whole time we are unable to manage. So if we go in the terms of the percentage, we are managing only 2 to 3% of the plastic that we produce. Okay. India is among the 12 countries responsible for 52% of the world's mismanaged plastic waste. Okay. So 52% of the plastic that we produce are is mismanaged. Okay. Categorized as waste sponges. India has been categorized as waste sponges. Okay. Now, one of the data that can be very important is 12.3% of plastic is recycled in India. Only 12%. Only 12% is recycled in India, as per the report by Center for Science and Environment. Center for Science and Environment. Okay. Now, what are the emerging tools in cutting plastic pollution? How this plastic pollution can be reduced? Okay. Now, plastic credits are the same as the carbon credits. Okay. uh, it can be form of the tradable credits, like if you like if a person see if a person or a company gets like one plastic credit, so it can produce the CREDIT. Okay, it can produce up to one plastic credit. If it exceeds, then it has to buy some plastic credits from other companies. So this is the same concept as carbon trading. Okay. Offsetting is the same principle, like when a company has reduces the plastic that is being used in another person's company. So if it provides the technology, then the plastic offsetting has been done. Okay. Now, plastic neutrality is the same concept of carbon neutrality. So you have to remember that some of the concepts that are already being used in the carbon credits and carbon domain has already all been implemented in plastic domain also. So this becomes important. Okay. Now, what are the initiatives to curb the plastic pollution in India? All measure what is the measure one is Plastic Waste Management Rules 2021. This one is major one, and it what it prohibits. It prohibits the manufacture and import of the single use plastic. Okay, single use plastic. Now restrictions have been placed, and slowly the width or thickness of the plastic that we use the polythenes that we use, the thickness of the plastic is being increased, because the thickness, the lower the thickness of the plastic, the more the time it takes to decompose. So the more the thickness of the plastic, it can be on the gain or the benefit is it can be easily recycled. Okay. And it can be reused also. So the more the thickness of the plastic, the better it is to get it reused and recycled. Okay. Now, uh, another important concept in this domain is extended producer responsibility guidelines. EPG, extended producer responsibility guidelines. So extended producer responsibility guideline has also already been implemented in this plastic domain. So what is this extended producer responsibility guideline? These are the guidelines to the company. Like this company, like suppose it is a company, it produces 1 ton 1 ton of plastic. So it is mandatory on this company's part to collect 1 ton of plastic waste, because it is producing 1 ton, then it has to collect 1 ton. So it is this responsibility becomes like producer's responsibility. because this company is the producer of the plastic. That's why this company has a responsibility to get that plastic back and recycle it. So it may be done by this company, otherwise it can be done by another person, or another private agency, private company, to which it can outsource the work of plastic plastic collection. Okay, those are the producer organizations. We will deal with it later. Okay, and private sector collaborations has also been found, like India Plastic Pact. Okay, Unplastic Collective. These are the some of the organizations, or some of the initiatives that have been taken in order to reduce the plastic pollution. Otherwise, these things are not very important. Okay, now moving on. What are the global initiatives that have been taken? UNAE has resolved to end the plastic pollution. Okay, UNEA, United Nations Environment Organization. Okay, another thing that is significant here. Otherwise, these are not very important. Uh, Glow litter. What is this? The government of Norway, IMO, International Maritime Organization, that we have already discussed in another the previous videos, and FAO, Food and Agriculture, aiming to reduce the sea-based marine plastic litter. So whatever the plastic litter is in the seas and marine areas, in order to reduce that plastic, Glow litter project has already been launched by Norway, IMO, and FAO. You must remember about this Glow litter project. Okay. Otherwise, nothing is important as such for the prelims perspective. So this news is unimportant. We are leaving it for the prelims perspective. It doesn't have any value. Okay. Now we come to our next topic, that is land degradation. Okay. What is this land degradation? First, we should understand what is land degradation. Then we will move to the why it is in the news. So suppose this is a land. This is a parcel of the land. So it has soil. Soil. What is this soil capable of? This soil is capable of producing a plant. Okay, and grasses. Okay, and then sustaining animal or other human life also. This is the capability of the soil. What if this soil's capability or productivity or capability to produce gets degraded, or just vanish away? So this is called land degradation. The degradation in the quality and productivity of the soil is called soil land degradation. Okay, I hope you now got the concept what is land degradation. Okay, and this is a major problem today because of the climate change also. Because of climate change and global warming, the fertility of the land is decreasing at the exponential rate, and hence it becomes a concern. And what is the organization that is dealing with this is UN Convention on to Combat Desertification, UNCCD. UNCCD, you must have read in your static part that this Rio Convention, Rio Summit was held. Rio Summit was held in 1992, and three major outcomes, three outcomes of this summit were: first was UNF, UNFCCC, that is Framework Convention to Combat the Climate Change. Okay, UNCBD, CBD is Convention for Biological Diversity. Okay, UNCCD, CCD is Convention to Combat Desertification, that we are talking about now. Okay, now UNCCD has launched this first ever data dashboard. That data dashboard has been launched for compile the figures of 126 countries. So what this dashboard is all about, we will see it here. Okay, what are the findings? What are the findings of this? Findings of this dashboard is at least 100 million hectares of the productive land was degraded every year. Every year 100 million hectare is degrading. At that is the severity of this problem. Okay, India's 9.45%, you must remember this data, because this is about India and hence it gains significance. Reported land area is degraded in India. Okay, 9.45%. So where is this area? Area is like Eastern and Central Asia degradation. You must see that Eastern and Central Asia is the area where the Taklamakan desert desert is there. Okay, and then Latin America and Caribbean regions. Okay, here also Latin America. What is there are many deserts. Okay, and the most severe degradation. These are areas where most severe degradation is taking place at the current time. Okay, now about the land degradation, we have already discussed about the loss of the productive capacity of the soil. Okay, and now what are the initiatives that are being taken? Initiatives like formation of institution like what is the institution that we talked about? UNCCD. And UNCCD has set a voluntary land degradation neutrality targets for 2020 2030. Okay, what are these targets? Land degradation. What is land degradation neutrality? Land degradation neutrality is the same concept as carbon neutrality that that we have understood in our previous videos. Okay, what is carbon neutrality? Carbon neutrality is the concept like carbon neutrality, or the same concept is in the land degradation neutrality. The land degradation neutrality is like whatever the amount of land that is being degraded, then same amount of land, degraded land, this is already degraded land, is being means cured or means made productive. Okay, if the same quantity of land that is being degrading in the world is being made productive, then the neutrality has been achieved. Like this is negative and this is positive, then this addition of both will be give zero, that is neutral. So this is the land degradation neutrality. It is a state whereby amount and quality of the land resources necessary to support the functions of the remain stable or increases. Either it remains stable or it increases within a specified ecosystem. Okay. Now, we will see that what is UNCCD. We have already done seen it, but informations like facts, some of the facts that UPSC usually asks is important. It is a legally binding framework. UPSC generally asks this. This is legally binding framework. It was established in 1994. I already told you about. It was in 1992 that this concept came, and by the 1994 it was already being established. Okay, now it launches a report like Global Drought Snapshot Report. Okay, this report is being launched by this UNCCD. You must remember it. Okay, now another thing that has not been mentioned here, and I want to tell you is that UNCCD is only convention which deals about the land. This is the only convention which talks about the lands. So there does not exist any other convention which talks about the land degradation, land neutrality, or land productivity. So this information is very important because sometimes the question can be asked directly about it. Okay, now moving up. So this is the whole concept, and this is very important concept of land degradation. Now what India is doing, because we have already seen is that 9% of our area is, or 9.45% of our area is also degraded, so we must also do something. So what is India's initiative? India has joined the voluntary initiative Bond Challenge. Okay, Bond Challenge pledge. What this pledge is about: we will restore 26 million of the hectares of the or are degraded land by 2030. This is important. 26 million. This target should be read and understood and even remembered by you all. Okay. Now moving on. Other programs that can be directly or indirectly linked are green national green in national mission for green India, integrated watershed management program. This is not directly related to land, but some component of these programs is affecting the land also and increasing its productivity. Hence these schemes become important for achieving the land this target of bone challenge. Okay, now moving on to the next topic, that is sand and dust storms. Sand and dust storm. What is sand and dust storm? Okay, this is a guide. This is guide report released by Food and Agriculture Organization (FAO). Okay, now about what is this sand storm? These are the strong turbulence winds erode small particles from the dryland surfaces. Little or no vegetation coverage. Okay, 75% of global dust comes from the natural sources and 25% from anthropogenic sources. What this article is talking about, like see, this is the example, like this is the dry land. So dry land usually, if this land is dry, then this soil particles which are above this land are also dry. Okay, and when the particles are dry, they are in the loose state. Okay, loose state. Okay, now what happens when the wind blows, then these particles come out and becomes comes in the wind and makes the storm, takes the form of the storm. So this is called sand and dust storm. So okay, I hope you have understood the concept now. Now, what another fact that is being talked about is this 75%. 75% is natural. 75% natural. Only 25% has been caused due to the human interventions. Okay, now I hope you have understood it. Now moving ahead, what are the anthropogenic factors that are responsible for this? Are land use changes, agriculture, and deforestation. If we, how can this the land surface that we have already talked about can become dry? Because if there is no tree on it, okay. Now agriculture was also a significant factor, because when we till the land, then the land that comes into direct contact with the sun becomes dry. This also causes the sandstorms. Okay, sand or dust storms. Or land use change, like if we change the forest area to if we clear the forest area, then this is the land use change. Okay, and other like mining is a change of the land area. So these all the factors that contribute to the dust storms. Okay, now what are the initiatives? This is very insignificant, but still at global level, some of the conventions that are indirectly related are given indirectly. ठीक? Okay, now initiative that have been taken by India are Aravali Green Wall, Green Wall project, and National Mission on Green India, National Green India Mission. Okay, what is Aravali Green Wall? Aravali Green, if this is India, consider this is India. My drawing is not that good, so please bear with me. Okay, now if this is India and this is an Aravali range in India, so the project has been launched to make this Aravali range again green by afforestation. So this is Green Wall, Aravali Green Wall project. So what this Aravali Green Wall will do, it will reduce the inflow of the sand from Rajasthan area to other areas. So what will what will happen? The expansion of sand will reduce, and hence desertification desertification of this land, which is highly fertile, will reduce. So this is our Aravali Green Wall project. And what is National Mission for Green India? National Mission for Green India is a national mission of India, which which deals about afforestation afforestation of all the areas which are either deforested, or maybe these are wastelands. So this whole thing is being done under National Mission for Green India, NMGI. Okay. Now, moving to other important news. What are the other important news? Ozone, green ground level ozone, that we have already discussed in our video first on PT65. So, what is this? We can see that Central Pollution Control Board has, and uh, it has said that ozone has started to emerge as Delhi's lead pollutant. Ozone has started become lead pollutant of Delhi. Okay, so we have already talked about it is a secondary pollutant. Okay, from two primary pollutant it is made, like nitrogen oxides and VOC, volatile organic compound plus nitrogen oxides, NOx. When these come in directly contact with the sunlight, then what happens? It leads to the formation of ozone. So this ozone is being formed in Delhi at very high quality quantities. So that's why it is the leading pollutant of Delhi now. So how are these volatile organic compounds and nitrogen oxides are being released? It is from emissions from the car, power plants, industrial boilers, refineries, etc. This volatile organic compounds and nitrogen oxides is coming out, and hence this is contributing to the ozone being formed in the troposphere. And we have already talked about in this in our video one, what is bad ozone and what is good ozone. So you can watch that video. So okay, now moving ahead. Champions of the Earth Award. Champions of the Earth Award is given by UN in the UN Environment Program, UNEP, and it is given in environmental domain. So you must remember this about only about this information, that it is this award is given by UNEP in environmental domain. Otherwise, nothing is important, because um, okay, in this section. Now, what is important in this award is Central for Science and Innovation. In the Science and Innovation category, Central Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR, has got the this project. This thing is important. Otherwise, everything is not that important. Now, moving ahead to the next topic, ethylene oxide. Ethylene oxide. European Commission has put this ethylene oxide as pesticide residue. So, what this ethylene oxide is? This ethylene oxide is used primarily to produce other chemicals, including antifreeze elements. Okay, and what this ethylene oxide is used, like if this is a food, so there may be insect on this food, like it is a banana or something like apple. So consider it this as an apple. So there may be insect on this. So in order to fumigate it, or maybe to kill these insects, or even microbes, okay, microbes before export, this ethylene oxide can be used to sterilize those microbes, okay, and even to kill those pests that are inside this food. Okay, now when this ethylene oxide is used before export, its residue can be there in this food also. So now European Commission, now when this food is exported from India or any developing countries to European Union, now till now there was no restriction on this ethylene oxide, but now European Union will test all the food coming from outside for this ethylene oxide, and hence this food particle that is being exported from other countries can be rejected, and hence this export will not be permitted. So this becomes important because India also exports much amount of the food to the European Union, and hence this declaration of this as pesticide residue will affect our export to European Union. Okay. So you must remember what is this ethylene oxide, and why this is being used, and why this is in news. Only this much amount of information is you important. So in the same category comes endosulfan. Endosulfan is also a pesticide. Okay. Now you must remember what is endosulfan, what is ethylene oxide. UPSC may ask the terms like endosulfan and ethylene oxide were in news. What are these? It will give options. Okay, so you must remember that these are pesticides. Okay, so and what important thing is about endosulfan, it is been listed under Rotterdam Convention on prior information consent and Stockholm Convention also. So under, if these if any chemical is listed under these Stockholm and Rotterdam, then its export or manufacturing cannot be done. So this is all about endosulfan. Okay, even if its export is done, then prior informed consent of the party where this is being exported to. Okay, whatever the country who is importing should give its like importing country importing country should give its consent. Okay, you can export this product to us, then only this product can be exported. What is the compound name? Endosulfan. Okay, so endosulfan and ethylene oxide, you must remember both of them. Okay, now moving ahead, petroleum coke or pet coke. So what is this petroleum coke or petrol coke? So if you, for an example, if this is container, okay, container where crude is stored. Okay, now you know the crude has many type of elements in it. Okay, and density of each element will vary. Like crude has petroleum, crude has diesel in it. Okay, so crude has multiple elements in it. So when this crude vessels come, so some of the material may settle at the bottom of the container that is being used for crude export. So whenever this content this density dense fluid collects at the bottom, this is called pet coke. Pet coke, pet coke or petroleum coke, because this looks very black in color, like a coal, and this comes from petroleum products. So that's why its name comes as pet coke. Now, given this understanding, now pet coke is a carbon rich solid material. It becomes a little amount of solid, so it is carbon rich. Okay, okay, derived from the final cracking process of crude oil refining. Other things that these all things that has remained in the container can be refined easily, other not, but not this pet coke. So what this pet coke is used, because it is derived from the crude, so it has very high calorific value. It has very high calorific value and produces low ash content. Ash content will not be there. So it is used in the cement manufacturing in India also, lime kilns and industrial boilers and aluminium industry. This is important. Aluminium anodes. Okay. So what if I give you some of the history. So this pet coke was being imported to India previously. Okay. Now what this pet coke, because it is also a hydrocarbon, hence this gives a very high amount of sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides in very high quantity when this pet coke is burnt. Okay, now so what happened later, because it was highly polluting, hence the Supreme Court a ban put a ban on import of all the import of import of this pet coke. So what happened? These companies like aluminium, okay, industrial boilers and lime kilns, these all approached the Supreme Court to allow the the use of this pet coke, import of this pet coke for their industrial applications. So as of now, this import of the pet coke has been allowed for these industrial industrial units, and specifically Supreme Court has banned the pet coke in Delhi NCR region. NCR region, it is banned. Okay. Now moving ahead to the next topic, polyethylene tetraplein degrading enzyme, PET 46. What is PET 46? If anything comes like this, then you must remember that it is an enzyme. So what this enzyme can do, you must remember it. Okay. Now when we discuss about this, like it is a this enzyme has been found in deep sea micro as a deep sea microorganism. Okay. What this pet does, it is a light. Okay. What this enzyme is unique. How it is unique, it can degrade both long chain and short chain PET molecules. Okay, enabling continuous degradation of PET can be done by it. So now what is PET? PET is the lightweight plastic that is used for packaging foods. Okay, lightweight plastic that is used for packaging the food materials. So you must have heard about the PET bottles. Your bottle is a PET bottle, so that is the polythene tetraphenyl bottle, PET bottles that you normally drink the water in. So these are the PET bottles. Okay, so this PET can be degraded by these enzymes, and this enzyme becomes very important in order to deal with the plastic pollution. Okay, now moving ahead, e-waste in India. What is e-waste? E-waste is like e-waste, or also called electronic waste. Electronic waste is a waste occurring from the end of life end of life product of end of life electronic products. So like your mobile phone or laptop or anything which is electronic, which is made of electronic items, if it has ended its life and you just throw it out, that is called e-waste. Okay, so according to a report, India is the third largest e-waste producer in the world after China and US. So you must remember this fact that India is the third largest e-waste producer. So what is impact of the e-waste? E-waste like health hazards, environmental impact and social impact because of this e-waste. Okay. Now, how are these e-waste regulated? E-waste are regulated under the e-waste management rules to 2022. Okay, this also has the concept of extended producer responsibility (EPR) regime that we have already talked about in this video in the previous part. Okay, now we have also talked about this. Okay, now moving to the next topic, one-stop centers for zero waste. Okay, now this topic as well as this topic next topic becomes important. Okay, what is the one stop center for zero waste? Okay, so these type of centers will be launched by the government. Okay, to reduce, recycle and reuse the all the items. So these centers will in themselves be called reduce, reuse and recycle centers. These were serve as one-stop solution for citizens, commercial enterprises like companies, etc., to deposit the plastic items, clothes, shoes, footwear, books, toys, everything that is waste for you can be deposited as these RR centers, triple R centers, and hence these all will be contributing to circular economy. So these centers will process these waste items and make new recyclable items from these. Okay, now this campaign has been launched under the Meri Life My Life My City campaign of Swachh Bharat Mission. Okay, this thing you have to remember. A campaign like called My Life My Clean City have been launched under Swachh Bharat Mission Urban, and under this the one stop centers for waste has been launched. Okay, now moving ahead to a relative item, International Day of Zero Waste has been declared. it, it is the first time that this day has been declared. It will encourage everyone to prevent and minimize the waste and promote the circular economy concept. Okay, it has been and what is the date? Date is the 30th March. 30th March has been announced as this International Day for Zero Waste, and who has organized it? United Nations General Assembly has declared this. Okay, now this is generally facilitated by UNEP and UN Habitat. Okay, you must remember this. So it is first time in international in whole the world. So that's why this day becomes important for the current year as a current event. Okay, now moving ahead, international conventions. What are some international conventions that we are going to do? Is Minamata Convention. Minamata Convention comes on Mercury. So what was happening in order to give you a historical perspective? Historical perspective was this, that you know the Japan country. Okay, so in the Japan, near about in the sea area. So in this region of Japan, like southern region of Japan, so when people were getting sick, and it was like mysterious disease which was causing the sickness. But when researchers and scientists learned that what is the cause of the sickness, then the fishes coming from the sea, from this sea, were the main reason for the sickness. So what was the problem with these fishes? Because these fish were found in the area where the in the sea where the mercury compound mercury element in the sea level sea was very high. So the main reason behind this disease was found to be mercury. So this town that we are talking about is called Minamata. So on this town only, this disease got its name, that Minamata disease. So Minamata conference was then organized by Japan to in order to reduce the mercury pollution, and hence this disease. Okay, now COP5 was under this Minamata Convention. COP5 was organized in Geneva. Okay, now what about this? More about this news. It is like it has these parties have amended the annexes to convention, and new phase out dates has been announced for certain phase out dates have been for certain batteries, switches, and relays, etc. These things are not very important, but you must remember that certain batteries and switches also which were using mercury in it, they has to be phased out. This amendment has been done by this convention. Okay, now new requirement for the agreed to advance the phase down of dental amalgam. You or maybe you must know that in the dental implants that a dentist uses in our implant of teeth, mercury is commonly used. Now this mercury will not be used in the dental implants. Okay, now what about Minamata Convention? Minamata Convention was adopted in 2013 in Geneva and came into force in 2017, because it is very recent happening in 2017 only. It is global legally binding treaty. Okay, on hand it was named after the city in Japan which became epicenter for Minamata disease that I have already told you. What is Minamata disease? It is neurological disease. Like it causes some issues with respect to the brain. So it is a neurological disease. Okay, now moving ahead. India has already ratified this Minamata Convention. You must remember it. Okay, now Minamata Convention requires the parties to nation to reduce the feasible amount of element the use of the release of the mercury. That you can by logic also come to understanding that Minamata Convention must be reducing the use of mercury. Okay, now moving ahead. What about mercury? Mercury is a naturally occurring element. You may know the what are the sources of mercury? Mercury is obtained from gold mining, coal-based thermal power plants. Okay, when the coal burns, then it produces ashes, and in this ashes, mercury may be present. In this ashes, mercury may be present. Okay, now what are the toxic effect of mercury? It on the nervous system. It's thyroid big gland becomes problematic because of this. And kidneys, lungs, immune system, eyes, gums, and skin, all these functions and organs becomes functions of these organs become disrupted due to this mercury. Okay, now it is known there is no known safe levels to exposure. This fact is very important, you must remember it. Okay, there is no even slightest slightest level is unsafe for human use. There is no known safe level where exposure will not lead to any problem. But even the slightest exposure to the mercury will lead to problems in the human body. So this fact becomes important. Now moving to the second organization, UN Global Framework on Chemicals. Like this is a new framework that has been adopted at a fifth International Conference on Chemical Management in Bonn, Germany. Okay, what this global conference, framework is all about? Its objective is to prevent the illegal trade and trafficking of chemicals and waste. All these chemicals will not be illegally traded and trafficked, and phased out the highly hazardous pesticides in agriculture by 2025. You must remember this. Phasing out of the hazardous pesticides. And one of the pesticides that we recently discussed in our previous video, you must have remember endosulfan. Okay, you must remember this all. Okay, now moving ahead. Okay, reducing the chemical pollution by 2030. So pollution as a whole is the main objective. Reducing the pollution and pollutants are main objective of this global framework on chemicals. Okay, now moving ahead, it was adopted the Bonn Declaration also. Declaration, what this declaration aims? Declaration aims to prevent exposure to harmful chemicals and phase out the most harmful ones. Harmful ones where appropriate and enhance safe management. Okay, now this is all about the global framework on chemicals that has been adopted. Now, what are the other conventions which deal with this chemicals? This is Basel Convention on adopted in 1989 to control the transporting movement of hazardous waste. Okay, and now Rotterdam Convention in 1998, which required the prior informed consent procedure to for certain hazardous chemicals. Okay, and the third one is Stockholm Convention of 2001 on persistent organic pollutants. These all conventions you must read in all your static portion. All the time questions are asked on these conventions. Okay, you must remember. Otherwise, when a topic in the news will come, we will discuss it. I will also discuss it. Otherwise, you must remember it from your static knowledge. Okay, now in this news, nothing as such is very important. Only this part is important. IAES Incident and Trafficking Database (ITDB) was found the radioactive contamination is increasing. So it has this database has found that radioactive contamination is increasing in the global arena. Okay, now what is this IAEA? It is the International Atomic Energy Agency. It is an agency which regulates the atomic or nuclear power. Nuclear power. Nuclear proliferation is being regulated by this agency. So this agency becomes important. What this agency do? Okay, and how this radioactive waste is increasing? It is increasing from the ships. That ships are being some ships are being recycled, and breaking or dismantling of the ships goes on due to for recycling the ships. So this recycling of ships will lead to the increase in the radioactive toxicity in the around the area where the ships are being dismantled, and in the oceans also. So you must remember that you must also get to know that there is a site in Gujarat where the ship dismantling is done, and it is the Asia's largest site. Okay, Asia's largest site is in Gujarat. Okay, now only this much was in the news. Okay, now this is the end of this video, and keep on revising these videos at least 2 times. You must remember, you must keep on revising this video, and hence this content will get into your active memory. Okay, bye students. Thank you for the time.